Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino and we have a brand new movie review for you today. I'm excited to jump into this crime, comedy, thriller. There's a lot of genres happening at one time, but somehow it pulls it off. Yes, we are talking about the new movie, Roofman. For this review, I wanted to break down a typical style of the good, the bad, and the Channing Tatum. You thought I was going to say the ugly, but there's nothing ugly about this movie. There's some things I don't like, but there's some things I love. Overall, it's a pretty solid movie. I thought Roofman was a nostalgic film of something we would have got like 8 of these in a year. Maybe if it was the year 2002, maybe 97 to 2002, we would get a Roofman movie often. Just this endearing comedy that knew its balance between sincerity, the humor, and the drama. It's just a simple, easy movie. There's really not much to say about Roofman, and that doesn't mean a bad thing. I think we deal with these very complex, heavy movies, either these massive blockbusters or these very important social commentary type of films that honestly, a movie like Roofman that just made me go, let me get invested in this world for a little bit, that's fine. And I think that was what I think was the most refreshing part of Roofman, was the simplicity to the story, was the fun nature of this. It's an easygoing movie. Yes, we're dealing with some pretty heavy topics, and there's times where I felt like I was watching a movie like Uncut Gems or something where I'm like, why am I watching this man be continuously frustrating and make the worst choices ever? But that's just how the story unfolded. And honestly, you don't agree with all the choices that Jeffrey Manchester makes, but at the same time you go, I understand you. And that is something I thought was key to this. What is it? Derek Cianfrance, who is the filmmaker behind this, he really understood the tone of this, making it feel happy and happy-go-lucky and endearing and sweet, but always keeping that dark, oh, it ain't gonna last forever feeling underneath the surface. That is key to a movie like this. Like, you want to be lost in it. You feel like Jeffrey, where you're like, you know what? Maybe I've done something bad, but maybe things will work out in the end. But that underlining feeling of, you know, it's not gonna last. It's such a smart move, and it really helps this movie feel more impactful. What also helps this movie feel so impactful is its all-star studded cast. Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst, amazing. But then you also add in Lakeith Stanfield, Juno Temple, Ben Mendelsohn. I even like Peter Dinklage's small-ish role in this film. He's important to the story, but not a key player to this, where you could have took his character out and it would have been fine. But overall, again, everyone did well. Everyone was serviceable. Everyone is exactly where they need to be. A cast like this is so hard to perfect, where no one is outperforming each other. No one is going too over the top. No one is scene stealing, which isn't a bad thing, but everyone's just working in service of the film. And this is interesting because Derek, the filmmaker, is not usually one for a movie as lighthearted as this. This is the man who did Place Behind the Pines, you know what I mean? Like, these very serious films. And I'm like, but Roofman is not that. He does bring that very serious element, but I think he also brings that prestige acting we would see in one of his other films to something like this. I think that's what's really smart is, yes, this is over the top and bombastic, but there's a real human heart and soul at the center of this. If I'm trying to break down any of the bad of this movie, I do think this movie is a little long at 2 hours. Maybe an hour 45, an hour and a half, but that's me being a little bit more extreme. I don't know where I would cut 30 minutes out. I know some of that middle does get a bit slow. It's just a pacing issue. I feel like the middle of this movie definitely was a bit like redundant. We're like, okay, you're kind of waiting for that other shoe to drop, much like the character Jeffrey in the movie, where you're like, we're waiting for everything good and then everything bad to happen. That takes away from the story a bit. I think there's a part of me that just went, okay, can we get to the insanity? Can we get to the end of the story? And that's good or bad, how you want to look at it. I was excited to see where this was going, but at the same time, the movie wasn't keeping me 100% engaged. I did check the time every now and then. I was like, oh, there's still 40 minutes of this movie left. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations where I wouldn't say that's necessarily bad, but I would also say that I just felt the movie a bit. I felt that runtime a little bit too much there. And overall, there isn't too much to hate on with this movie. It's simple, it's easy, it's refreshing. Would I have liked to have more characters fleshed out? Yes, with the amount of runtime we had in 2 hours, I would have loved to have known Kirsten Dunst a little bit more, outside of just a little bit of her backstory we get, a little bit of her family moments and stuff like that. I would have just liked a bit, and I know this is Jeffrey's story, and I know Channing Tatum, we'll talk about him, he gets a whole section in a moment. I know that he is the star of this film, but I would have just loved to round out the supporting cast a bit. I would have loved to just understood everyone else's vibes and motivations, just to make the story a bit more compelling. Because by the end, when, you know, everyone's Leigh's having to do it, which is Kirsten Dunst's character, having to make the choices that she makes, I would have loved to understood that place a little bit more and understood her moment. And I will say all of my complaints about her not getting development is slightly undercut by a great scene at the end where there's just a single tear and it's like mascara filled, and I'm like, Kirsten Dunst, the girl from Bring It On, the girl from like my movies growing up, like this is an actress I feel like I've grown up with. I've seen Kirsten Dunst in so much my entire life, to see her in a movie like this where she's able to take like her Power of the Dog drama acting, but then her fun like Dick, Bring It On era like humor and mix it together. It's just a good combination for her, and I think she does well. I just think the script is a bit underserviced in the supporting cast department. While the supporting cast is struggling to find something to grab onto, do you know who is not struggling in this movie? Channing Tatum. The moment we realize this man is not the action drama star and he is actually a truly hilarious actor who has some good other layers to him, Channing Tatum was changed for me. He is so genuinely funny and so honest in everything he does. I mean, I've liked Channing since Step Up. I've seen a lot of I've seen the bad G.I. Joe movies. I've seen Channing Tatum do what we've needed to do, but this is the type of roles I want to see for him. There's something a bit Matthew McConaughey about him in this. There's something just different of an actor. Maybe it's him just aging into different roles, so he isn't just trying to be the pretty boy. And not to say he does not look good. Channing Tatum is still in amazing shape. There's a whole scene where he is naked running around the Toys R Us. Like, truly, he knows his strength still in the looks department. But at the same time, he's not just relying on that. I think Channing Tatum as a comedic, a dramedy, you know, this comedy drama mixture, I think he excels in this department. I loved seeing him here. I think he made Jeffrey Manchester this believable character. I didn't want to believe him. I didn't want to believe that this man broken through roofs, wasn't a bad person, and then hid inside of Toys R Us. That just seems so unbelievable. And it's a real story, but my goodness, he sold it. Channing Tatum is such a good, believable, fun character in this. He is truly a real person. And that's where I think what sold me on this the most. This could have felt like a cartoon. This could have felt like a 90s, like over-the-top comedy movie where you're like, wow, what is happening? But he grounds it and makes it feel real. That's the Derek C. Franzon's acting or directing. That's also Channing Tatum's really committed to the bit moments. He's like the perfect leading man in a romantic comedy, the perfect leading man in this type of drama-ish category that's mixing a bunch of different elements from different kind of genres into it. He's just a star. He's a star. I know he's not the movie star we all expected of him. He's not the Leonardo DiCaprio, the Timothée Chalamet, like the star, even though we tried a bit. But I think there's something amazing about Channing in roles like this. I want to see him in more Roofmans, where he is getting to play a good role that's meaty and juicy, but also still getting to have his shades of his humor and his heart and his drama chops, because he's not bad at being dramatic. He just never had the roles that feel like they fit him. Roofman feels like a perfect fit for Channing Tatum. This was a pretty quick review to do. I like Roofman. It's an easy in and out movie. It could just be a little bit shorter, but with their characters that I do enjoy spending time with. I wasn't complaining. I just felt like the edit could have been tighter. But overall, that's the only complaint I have about Roofman. I highly recommend you watch this. Is this a theatrical run out to see it on the biggest screen ever? I wouldn't necessarily say that, but if you are looking to go see something in the movie theaters, definitely check out Roofman. But if you are in the mood to see this movie, but don't want to pay the movie theater prices, it's going to play well at streaming with your family, just laughing around at the insanity, going, would you do this? That's something I like about it, is it did make me go, would I do this? How would I handle this situation? And that is one of the best things I can compliment this with movie on, is it puts you into the shoes of these characters. Yeah, I like the movie. I think it's really worth the watch. What did you guys think of my review? What do you guys think of the movie Roofman? Do you know anything about this real life story? What were your thoughts on this movie if you have seen it already? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to Flickering Myth. And let's talk about Roofman right down there.